Yeah, I'll do it while I do the intro. Everybody, we are back. It is Save the Lives Favorite Podcast. Favorite channel. Favorite is everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 25% off. So we thought we were just gonna be talking some nice training camp this Saturday. We talked about it on Tuesday, right? Like, hey, it's training camp started. Oh, it's gonna be super nice. It's gonna be super easy conversation. No crazy drama at all. Nothing. And then here we are.
I think someone tweeted at me like we were asking for it. We were asking for news, which I feel like we weren't. I feel like we were talking about how we were happy that there was nothing besides obviously wanting to get some contract extension news for Colton and Jacoby. But yeah, I guess. It was too good because it wouldn't be a Raiders offseason without some sort of bombshell drama. So I guess we had to hit our quota this year. It's what Raiders training can't be without a star player getting cut, right? It's like the AB days from what was that? I guess 6 years ago now. Might as well get things going with some good drama.
Yeah. So of course we're gonna be talking about that. And then, the rest of training camp, what else we're hearing out of training camp. And you guys give us your questions, But, this is the main topic.
The rest of training camp, which feels so insignificant right now. The practices, no one gives a shit about right now. But.
Yeah. This is some shortest wide receiver. That's the surprise cut of the year right there. There's our surprise.
There you go.
Cut.
Yeah. It makes the article easy.
Yeah. Man. All right. So Christian Wilkins is released. He's not with us anymore. They try to get rid of that, get out of the guaranteed money, and he wasn't rehabbing. According to them, he wasn't rehabbing quick enough. According to him, that's a lie. He wanted to play. They want him to get surgery. He didn't want to get surgery. He wanted to play. So now we are looking at the defense tackle, trying to find a new defense tackle here to replace him. So, what are your thoughts on it, Matt?
Yeah, so part of what was crazy to me about it is what I was reading before this, like what the Athletic was reporting is it seems like the Raiders or Spytek and Carroll, like they kind of knew like something was up when they took the job back in January. And I remember, if I remember correctly, Vic, who obviously covers the Niners now, but was well versed in the Raiders for the last 15 plus years, tweeted something about like, hey, like there were kind of some rumblings that something was going on early on. So it sounds like this has been a longer standing issue and a longer standing concern than we realized. And they voided his guarantees on June 4th. So over like 6 weeks ago, and that kind of just didn't get leaked, which is surprising, especially considering, we were in the downtime where that kind of stuff is something that reporters and insiders look for. So it seems like a weird situation where like they kind of knew this was coming, kind of played it coy. And then when like you said, when he didn't get the surgery that they obviously disagreed on whether or not he needed to get or the extent of what he wanted to do, it was just time to cut bait. So it's frustrating for me. If you follow me on Twitter Thursday night, I was tweeting through the pain, trying to get through it, getting all my emotions, all my feelings, which I don't do too much. But the frustrating thing for me is if you watch like the 5 games that Christian Wilkins played last year, he was pretty damn good. Like he was a damn good player on the field. And the other part of it too is like when you hear from him from the Dolphins, like he was like lauded as like this hard worker, like determined guy, a team guy. And then it seems like there's just sort of like he broke his foot and like something flipped. So that's kind of like the weird part of the weird situation for it. But that's the frustrating thing for me too, is like he was damn good when he's on the field. But again, like I get it from the Raiders perspective of, hey, is this guy's not doing everything he needs to do to get back on the field and get back on the field in a timely manner? I get moving on, especially when you're a new regime. You're trying to send a message. You're not the one who brought this guy in, although they are taking on like I think I saw it was like $10 million of dead cap because of the way they structured his contract for the next through 2028, I believe, is what I read. Maybe I may be off on that, but yeah, it's just frustrating because it goes down as another big ticket free agent signing that the Raiders got that at the time seemed like a slam dunk and ended up failing out very quickly. So I was trying to think of it. The only two like top of the market free agent signings that they've had in like the last 20 years that came to mind were Osimile in 16 and then Hudson in 2015. feel like those are the only two guys where like they were like the top of the market need and free agency. Raiders got them and they ended up working out. Everyone else seems to bust. Reminded me of like when they signed D'Angelo Hall. You remember that when they had it? It was like D'Angelo Hall was like a former All Pro. They brought him in and like he lasted what like half. Yeah, it was awful. And then goes to Washington, I think, and ended up being a decent player.
Yeah.
But it's just frustrating, the whole situation. Again, because he was good on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's not going to be on the field, obviously he's not the money. But I saw too, like the Raiders, part of me wonders why they would do this. I guess it was just to create cap space. It was just that desperate, and they thought maybe they could get to him. But like they restructured his contract, and from again, if they knew about this when if they knew something was a muck in January when they got hired, and they restructured his contract in March, and now they ended up paying him like $50 million. That's not what they're trying to get back. They're trying to get back the salary for this year and next year, as far as I understand of it.
Yeah.
So they paid Christian Wilkins $10 million per game. Like Mark Davis spent $10 million. He can't be happy about that. Mark Davis and Tom Brady are like, this is taking money out of my damn pocket.
Yeah. I think the main thing you said, Matt, in here is that they're sending a message. This is a message. Like if this is like the biggest message that you could send to like the rest of your team, that like it doesn't matter who you are. Like we don't care if you're a superstar defensive tackle, and if you're not rehabbing and not trying to get back with us, then we're gonna cut bait. Because I think some teams would even like they just would have went along with it because they paid him and then they kept it going until next year. They're like, nah.
Even if you sign a $110 million contract, your ass better be in the training room, which I kind of respect. But at the same time, now we're sitting here thinking, now in a defense that already going into the season had a lot of question marks, now has a big question mark at defensive tackle. But again, if they weren't going to have him during the season, you're going to have that question mark no matter what. But yeah, this sucks from that perspective of a defense that already had a ton of questions now has another questionable position. So.
Yeah, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to replace him, right? I mean, because he is a good player, but the rumors is like he wouldn't have played anyways this year. That's what I've been hearing. That he wasn't going to play anyways. So that's my thing with the surgery, though. Okay, it's like, all right, Christian, you're not going to play this year. Just take the damn surgery. Like you're still getting. Like to me, he wasn't being. I'm gonna just look from a player perspective. I was him. You have all this guaranteed money there. In these contracts that, especially the NFL, the cheap ass NFL, they won't give you guys guaranteed money at all. This is the cheapest league in the world. They just run your body to the ground, won't give you guaranteed money. You look at the NBA, some backup point guards making the same amount as Baker Mayfield, right? And you're getting run into the damn ground. You have to understand these things as a player. Like, okay, I'm got this contract, right? I have all this guaranteed money. I haven't got all the guaranteed money yet. You know what I mean? Let me rest my body. I'm like 29. I'm going 30. If I get the surgery, I rest my body. I rest for a whole year. I take the whole year out. It's not like I'm not good enough where I haven't put enough of a resume where somebody's not going to give me time to be great, right? And I think he should have took that mindset where like, bro, you've been good for your whole career. Everybody knows you're a really good player. You've got some NFL teams even thinking about picking you up, even though you can't play this year. Like, they're talking about it, right? They're looking into it because you're such a great player that you need to take a step back and look at like the bigger picture here, which is just get the guaranteed money, bro. Sit out and then play next year. And you have 2 more years in your contract. It's just crazy to me just not to take the surgery, but that's why he's in the situation. And then now he has to try to find a different team. And, it's going to be crazy, but yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. Like, I'd love to hear his perspective on it, just to be like, why would you not get the surgery? Like, what was your thought process on this? Because now I feel like the messaging we're getting right now is from like the Raiders' perspective, pretty much for the most part. Like I'd love to know. Could sit down with Christian Wilkins and be like, dude, why wouldn't you just get the surgery? I'd just love to. I just want to hear his explanation. I guess is kind of where I'm going at with that. But to play devil's advocate to your what you were saying. Is if they did give him the $50 million, I mean, he left half of the contract on the table, but $50 million to just chill.
Yeah.
So, but it from like you said, like I don't like, and again, I want to understand. I would love to hear the explanation as to why he thought he didn't need to get the surgery, but like at the end of the day, like if maybe that's what his end goal was, is like I just want to get paid and just chill. But I do agree with you. Like if you can make another 50 or what would it be, $60 million, why not take it? Why not just get the surgery and take it?
Yeah, let's bring on Christian Wilkins and ask him
I'll
ourselves.
get him on line one. Hold up.
The TDL exclusive.
There you go.
Yeah, right there, dog. All right, yeah. Any other thoughts on this, Matt? I mean, it's like, all right. So I guess we talk about the bigger picture. Who's going to replace? Right, we're a football show here. We're not a gossip show, man. We got to talk about who's going to replace him.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll go back and on my 53-man roster, Jonah Lalu. I'm gonna put him on the roster. Make everyone happy now. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the thing is like last year what they did after Wilkins went out is they leaned heavily on going with a lot of odd fronts where they could use a guy like Tyree Wilson and put him at end. Adam Butler, I know he's like a 3-tech size. He's not a 3-tech skill set though. Like he's not a guy that I think they can trust really taking on a ton of double teams, especially from like centers and guards who are a little bit more powerful. He can do it all right when he's lined up on a tackle and get a little bit of help there. So I think what the plan will probably be is to lean on more of those odd fronts, which if you're a guy like Leaky Fotu, again, we talked about this last time, like there's not a ton of nose tackles on there. The only other guy that can really do that size-wise is Tank Booker. Maybe JJ Pegues can line up there too. But if you're a guy like Leaky Fotu, like that this helps your case to make the team, because if they are going to run a lot of odds, you got to put someone at nose, someone on top of the center to 2-gap and take up space in the middle. And then put like maybe a guy like Tyree, maybe Lualu at end, and then Butler at the other end spot. And you have Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz playing the stand-up backer roles. So that's kind of what my reaction is too. And I was reading one of Tashawn's pieces on The Athletic. Like he was saying that the defense was running, at least in one of the practices, the defense was running a lot of 5-man fronts and a lot of 5D linemen. So I think that's probably what they're going to do. They're just going to take that game plan Patrick Graham's going to take that game plan that he had, I guess, from week 6 on and kind of extrapolate that out and go with that route, because they don't really have like a dominant 3 technique. So it doesn't really make sense to stay in a ton of even fronts for him this year, especially without Wilkins.
Yeah. I think Lalu is the guy that they really want to be the guy. They've been hyping him up, right? Max Crosby talked about him. He's running with the ones right now in that spot, right? I mean, I guess they are doing a lot of over fronts at practice too. So they are doing that. That's what Jermaine Pratt's lined up. I mean, we'll get to Jamal Adams. We'll talk about that in a second too. But like that's why they got Jermaine Pratt, which I thought this was weird. I was like, why is Landon Roberts and Devin White the 2 linebackers, and Jermaine Pratt is as the guy on the kind of the defensive end, the Charles Snowden role? Like, shouldn't Devin White be doing that? But that's a different conversation. So he's the other defensive tackle. And then it's like Leaky Fotu and Zach Carter are kind of playing the nose guard to tackle thing. I would like for Zach Carter to win that, hopefully. But yeah, it's going to be Lalu and then like Adam Butler, and then Tyree Wilson is getting a lot of run inside too. Yeah.
I think Pete Carroll talked about that a little bit too. Like he was talking about they're going to try and line him up a lot of different spots and not quite do like a full position change, but like basically shift his role where he's going to play a lot more inside, which is what he did last year a lot too. Like I was saying, he played a lot of that like 4-eye technique inside shade of the tackle last season. And he actually was decent in that role last year. So he had plenty of spurts. And then I think I talked about it with Lalu. He had plenty of traits. Like I saw Pete Carroll's quote on him. He's like, I see traits that I like from him. And I understand where Pete's coming from that. It was just a consistency issue last year that I think really got him in trouble. Like he'd have a great rep and then 2 bad ones and stuff like that. So if he can kind of iron that out, and again, getting some love in the preseason or in the training camp from the coaching staff and from Max Crosby. So that's at least a good sign from him moving forward. But I think you're right. I think he's probably going to start getting shifted up here and going to get a lot more run now that they're trying to figure out who the hell is going to just line up at defensive tackle or on the D line.
Yeah. They got to find somebody. I know it's you wonder if one of the rookies will step up too. Some of the rookies will maybe get some shots. I don't know. I don't think those guys are that ready to play. I mean, if it was, it'd be JJ Puigs over Tonka, in my opinion. But it's just all of this was a message though. Like you said earlier. I mean, and it's his message to the team. I mean, and I was so mad when Matty F. Brown was like, always compete. I was like, bro, I don't need to hear that right now. I had to use like it's just, I don't want to hear your Pete Carroll clips, you know, because those guys love Pete Carroll. He's like always competing. You know what I mean? Because Jonah Lalu's out there competing, and you're not, Wilkins. You're not competing to get back on the field. I need competition.
Oh boy.
Yeah, man. He's still 73, bro. But I mean, we could act like he still hasn't have an old school mentality. He could try. He's young. He knows all the cool songs. You know. He's still a boomer.
He's still out there wearing the what do they call them? Drawing the blank. The dad shoes, the Nike dad shoes. I can picture him like you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The white and black, the white, red, and black ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna bog me that I can't remember the name of the shoes, but someone will put it in the chat, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, the Monarchs, yeah.
The Monarchs, that is. Thank you. There we go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. What are you doing, the mic, bro? I can hear the mic's all messing up a little bit.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah. Where's that mean?
I haven't touched anything. I haven't even touched the desk. Is it too light?
No, it was something like you were touching the mic or something like that.
Oh, gotcha. Might have been fidgeting with something.
I know. I mean, you went on a long ass rant, Matt. This is the longest I've heard you talk. You went like a 5-minute rant, bro.
Had to get it.
I was like, damn, man, you alright, man?
It's been pent up.
Literally like 5. I was letting you go, bro. I was like, all right, just let it out, Matt. Go ahead. I was letting you go, man. I was letting you do it. It was funny, man. I was like, damn, Matt, you never talked this long. Yeah, I get it, man. It kind of pissed me off too, because I was like, bro, come on, Pete. Because you know it's Pete. That's what I'm saying. It was literally like an old man boomer type of thing. It was, but you know what I'm saying. Go ahead.
No, yeah, you're good. I didn't have anything to add. No, but
okay.
Yeah. I did think I will say though the statement was pretty damn blunt. So he wasn't committed to excellence, basically. Is how I read it.
Oh man, yeah. The statement was to say like he was not committed to excellence. So it was awesome. Like, all right, bro.
Yeah.
All right, Pete. All right. So I don't know. We kind of did this Christian Wilkins topic to the floor. Let's switch to Jamal Adams. Okay, Jamal Adams is on this football team, right? I know you watched him film, so maybe we could just talk about his film a little bit. That you went through like last year. Is that what you did? Because I know you're doing.
Yeah, I went through and watched all 40 of his snaps from last season, just to kind of gauge what he has left in the tank. I mean, we know obviously he's had a long injury history over the last 3 years. We talked about that when he signed on Tuesday. But one thing that like kind of stood out is his instincts are still pretty good. Like he's definitely still a heady player, like in both phases of the game. Like he made a few plays against the run where he just was like quick and read it and diagnosed it really quick and diagnosed it right off the snap that I think can help him out at the linebacker spot. The one thing I'm worried about is him in coverage is still an issue. But then again, if he's playing linebacker and the Raiders are going to lean on a lot of zone, he can kind of lean on his football IQ and not have to worry about his movement skills as quite as much. The biggest thing for me in there is he's going to have to be a little bit better of a tackler. Like he had one rep against I think it was Green Bay when he was with the Titans, where he actually did a pretty good job of like recognizing like the play action pass. It was like a tight end blocking and then releasing to the flat late. And he did a great job of just staying home and then realizing what was going to be what the play design was. And he was in a position to make a tackle for like a 1-yard gain, but he missed and ended up getting a first down. He only missed 2 tackles last year, but he only played 40 plays. So it came out to a 25% rate. The bigger concern for me was in 2023, he missed 15 at a 24% rate. So that's kind of been the issue for him in the last 2 years. And that's not something we think of a ton with Jamal Adams, but again, if with his injury history, is that something that's regressing, or is that just a matter of the sample size and will get evened out once he gets a little bit more playing time? So that's my biggest concern with him coverage wise. The other thing is him taking on blocks was pretty rough last year. There was a rep last season where he was taking on a screen against Dontavian Wicks, a wide receiver from the Packers, and he was struggling. He didn't get off the block and got sealed where they created a lane for the receiver in the screen. And then one of the reps that I saw him take on a block from an offensive lineman, he ended up on his back. So it's like, all right. That's where I get a little bit concerned, and that's where I'm still like, okay, yes, it's good that they're trying him at linebacker. I think that's kind of where he's probably at his best right now. I do like him as a free safety to come in and fill in the run fits, but I don't trust his speed to be back there in coverage right now. So I get why you want to put him more on the second level, but his ability to get off blocks is going to have to be better. And when he's still on the smaller side and hasn't been doing it throughout his career, that's where I'm like, that might be a bit of an issue, and I'm still not convinced that he's necessarily he's going to stick at the roster, even if he is playing at linebacker, and they could use someone with more experience to be a coverage backer there. I still don't think it's a for sure thing. We'll see how the preseason goes and how training camp goes. Maybe he looks better, but at this time right now, I'm not 100% sold that he's still got a roster spot locked up. As much as Pete Carroll loves him and clearly wants to work with him.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, if they're trying him at linebacker, they feel like they're like trying to force a roster spot on him. Because he had never played linebacker. This is a totally different thing, and that's not the first thing I thought when they said he's going to play linebacker is, can he take on blocks? Because that's a big part of it. Unless you're doing some kind of like package thing and you're just like blitzing him, you know what I mean? Like and it's like a third down blitz type of thing. And you to have a more athletic player out there, as like a situational player, which I hope that's like their whole idea. You know what I mean? I hope it's more of like a situational thing if they are going to try to use him like that. But you're right. I mean, it's not a for sure thing that he makes his football team. You know what I mean? And he is a Pete Carroll favorite. You know, I mean, Pete Carroll probably loves everything
Pete
about
Carroll
him.
Traded 2 first-round picks for him and like kept him around all those years in Seattle. I think they extended him at least once when he was battling injuries until and it wasn't until Carroll left that Seattle said we're done.
Yeah. Man, I just want to see what it looks like, right? Because I know the best thing he does is, come downhill and things like that. But he's just not that type of player anymore, and the injuries have just been added up on him like crazy. So.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think if he does make the team, it'll be as that fourth linebacker, as more of a sub package player. Because y'all know how I feel about Devin White. I think from what it sounds like from the coaching staff and from the early reports from OTAs and training camp, they seem pretty convinced that Pratt Roberts and Devin White are going to be the top 3 linebackers this year. And then I could see maybe turning to Jamal as like the third down guy. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to roll with 2, if they go with Pratt and Roberts on first and second down, and then bring in White and Jamal Adams. That's kind of the preliminary plan right now on third downs, because get a guy that's a good pass rusher, good off-ball blitzer, and a guy that's a converted safety that in theory is going to be good in coverage come out.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Let's get some of these questions, man. Thoughts on Devin White, Stokes, and Jamal Adams being former first-round picks and being under 30?
They're former first-round picks under 30.
Yeah.
I mean, you're betting on potential.
Yeah.
But you're betting on guys well, Jamal Adams has a proven track record. Jamal Adams has been good in the past. It's just been several years. You're hoping these guys end up coming to their potential that for some reason didn't work out at their previous stops. But I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath that either one of them end up figuring it out and have this career resurgence this season with the Raiders.
Yeah. I think that they're betting on those guys who are going to reach their potential. I'd rather bet on Eric Stokes, and maybe Jamal Adams than Devin White. I don't think Devin White.
Damn.
You know what I mean? I just don't. I mean, Devin White was like had a great playoffs run, right?
Yeah.
And he's always a popular player, but he never was like a superstar like Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams was like a superstar safety. That's why he got 2 first-round picks. You know what I mean? Like, he was no joke. It wasn't like he was a 2-time
Pro Bowler with the Jets before they traded him.
Yeah, I think he's a first-team All-Pro. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's different betting on a guy under 30. Like, Devin White is just,
Devin White.
I'm nervous.
Devin White is the guy that Devin White's the guy where the difference between where if you look at the stat sheet and you saw what he did in the playoffs, like you're right, like he did it in the mainstream, he did it in the public eye a lot. And again, you go up, you Google him on Pro Football Reference, and he's got some good stats on there. But he's like the quintessential guy of like the difference between what the NFL and what the film says versus what what a lot of fans think or the common fans think. Because again, he did have a good playoff run where everyone was watching and everyone saw that. And with the Bucs when they won their Super Bowl, and you look him up on Pro Football Reference, he's got like 25 sacks as an off-ball linebacker, had a 100 tackle season on there. So he looks like he's like a dude. Then you flip on the film and you wonder what guy you were looking at. If you're looking at the right guy, I should say. Like that's just to me, like he's the guy that's like the great example of what the public sees and what the public thinks is completely different and 100% or 180 degrees different than what the NFL values him. And I think you can look at the last 2 off seasons for him that kind of prove that. I mean, he wanted to get a big deal with the Bucs, couldn't get anything done there. Ended up signing with the Eagles, who I know Zach Bond ended up becoming a first-team All-Pro, but Zach Bond was not a first-team All-Pro when he left the Saints. He signed, I think, for like the vet minimum or something like that, or some tiny 1-year contract, and ended up blossoming. Well, Devin White couldn't see the field, ends up going to Houston and barely plays there, and doesn't even get a start there until week 18 when they had nothing to play for and were kind of just unloading the bench. So that's my 2 cents on Devin White.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, well, I'm a little nervous with him starting live. I'm nervous. It's like Elandon Roberts and Devin White, Jermaine Pratt. Like, I mean, man. I mean, Elandon Roberts, Jermaine Pratt aren't bad. They're solid linebackers. It's just, you know what I mean. I'd rather have Devin White at the on the line of scrimmage if they're going to pick one of those guys. Can we do AFC West positional group rankings? Yeah, we probably.
It's on Silver and Black Pride. I did that.
Yeah. Oh, look at you, man! Already applying the goods.
Already on it. I did include Christian Wilkins in one of it though, so we.
Yeah. I've heard you guys talk about whether or not Bennett could play the slot, but given Stokes' tackleability, press capability, do you think he could be the nickel?
He's got tight hips and can't change direction. He can't play nickel. He's a straight line speed.
Whew. No. That'll be ugly. What alignment will Jermaine Pratt be in? Well, they're saying that he's lining up as Charles Snowden, basically.
Kind of like the Bruce Irvin role that they used to have. What he used to do with when he was with the Seahawks with Pete, like where he was like the off-ball blitzing linebacker. Again, I would think that would be that's what Devin White does best. I would think that would be his role, but I think I showed it even when I broke down Jermaine Pratt on the channel. He did have a few nice reps where like he was like setting the edge where Cincinnati would kind of put him in that role. I think the nice thing about Jermaine Pratt is he's of the 3 guys that are starting. He's kind of the most position fluid, if you will, where you can put him at Mike, you can put him at Sam, you can put him on the edge, you can put him at Will. I think you have a little more flexibility with him. So I'm wondering if that's kind of what they're testing in the early stages of training camp to see how many spots they can use him at. Because I do think he is kind of one of those guys that's like good to solid in a lot of areas, just doesn't have like that elite trait. But that does give you some flexibility to put him at really any linebacker spot. I think he can play all 3 roles and at least be at a serviceable level, if you will.
Okay. All right. Next question here. Can Pete elevate this defense to average?
I mean, it's going to take a lot. We've talked about it before. I understand not paying guys and not wanting to open up the checkbook for guys like Robert Spillane, Trevon Merritt, but on the other end of it, you do lose some talent. Like they have lost like a lot of talent, a lot of from last year's defense that wasn't even that great. Granted, last year's defense was beat up with injuries, so it's going to take a lot. They don't have a ton there, and again, like I said at the intro, there's a lot of question marks right now. And you added another one at defensive tackle, which justifiably, but again, it's a one that when we look at this roster going into the season, it's something where I'm like, I'm not sure what they're going to do at this spot going into the year.
Okay. All right. So before we get out of here, a couple more topics we'll talk about. So I was just looking at with Tashawn Reed's notes here, and I want to talk about this. So Jordan Meredith is playing center. Okay. But not only was he playing center, he was playing center with the ones over Jackson Powers Johnson.
Yeah.
So is this like? So what are your thoughts on this? Is this like we're just getting ready for Smith, or is Pete going full on competition here?
I think it's probably a little bit of competition, and again, I think the clear message from Pete Carroll early is that he's looking to send a message, if that kind of makes sense. So I think it's part of that. But if I remember Tashawn's note, it seemed like it was more about getting Jordan Meredith and Geno Smith a little bit of familiarity with each other in case something happens to JPJ. And then I was thinking about it on the other end of that. If something happens to Geno Smith, you want to make sure JPJ and Aiden O'Connell or Cam Miller have some familiarity with each other. So I think at this stage, that's what it's more about. But that was interesting because it's like, again, when we looked at this going into the training camp, we all figured the position battle was going to be Alex Kappa, Dylan Parham, and Jordan Meredith for the 2 guard spots. Seems pretty. I mean, since OTAs, it seems pretty clear that Alex Kappa is the starting right guard. Then we thought it was going to be Dylan Parham and Jordan Meredith bounding out at left guard. Mm-hmm. Now they're throwing another curveball where Jordan Meredith is taking reps at center. And I think the other end of it too is if Parham is going to start, the goal is to get Meredith cross-trained at all 3 interior offensive line positions so that they can just plug him in, because right now he's very clearly their best backup interior offensive lineman, again, assuming that Parham ends up starting and same with Cap at the right side.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting to me. Like just him playing center. I didn't know he had experience at center. I didn't know that that was an option for him. But yeah, I mean, that is something they need. It kind of tells me they don't feel like Parham is a center. I feel like they think Parham's a pure guard, right? Because they're not even trying him at center. You figure that'd be the guy, right? You figure it'd be Parham doing the center, and then maybe Meredith kind of playing guard, or JPJ playing guard at his position and switching around that way, or maybe because Jack Powers Johnson was with the 2s, so maybe he goes back and does the 2s, and then Parham goes to center. You thought it would be like that, but I mean, I think they really want Meredith to be, if JPJ goes down, he's the center. You know what I mean? And they have Parham still going there. So they obviously they think Parham is better than Meredith, right? At left guard. Mm-hmm. And that all comes back to drafting, right? I mean, that's why they feel that way, in my opinion, because Parham is the 3rd round pick and Meredith didn't get drafted and has short arms.
Yeah. And part of it too, I think, is like, I kind of see where you're going at, or where the coaching staff is going at. If JPJ goes down, obviously you want to have your next best offensive lineman come in and replace him. But the thing to consider is, if Dylan Parham's also playing, there's a possibility that Parham and JPJ are both injured. So what you don't want to have there is throw your hands up on game day and be like, we don't have a guy that ever played center. So I think that's part of it too, is if Meredith's going to be a backup, let's get him some reps at center, so it's not like in an emergency situation where JPJ and Parham are out, that we don't have anybody that's had any experience snapping the ball to Geno. But again, I haven't heard anything about Parham playing center, so you might be onto something where they're just going to keep him at guard too.
Yeah. And then Jack Powers Johnson said that I'm just trying to earn it every day. Nothing's been given to me. See, I mean, I'll tell you, the most Pete Carroll thing would just have Jordan Meredith at their week 1, because JPJ is not. Welcome to Pete Carroll, guys. I mean, this is really what today is. What this is about is welcome to the Pete Carroll era of Raiders football. This is, we're here, guys. We made it. So we're back to having a pretty good offense and a sub-mediocre defense. I mean,
it's fun. I was thinking about it after the whole Christian Wilkins thing, and like looking at the defensive projections and talking about what I was saying here, where like now there's even another question on defense, and I'm like, this is the football gods getting back at me for being so happy last year when Marcus had to break down that terrible offensive film every week last season, and I at least had like somewhat decent film, defensive film to walk back then, or to watch. And I feel like, the trend going into the season is that it's going to be the exact opposite, where the offense is going to be putting up 30 points a game, and it's going to be shootouts every week. And I'm going to be sitting here pulling my hair out on Monday mornings while I watch tape and break it down.
Yeah. And then they have Ashton Genty up in the red zone, but that'd be funny if they're not good in the red zone again either. Just like it's like a complete reverse. The thing was with Pete, though, I'm gonna say this. The things with Pete is that his defenses don't give up a lot of points.
Yeah,
that's a pretty consistent thing, right? They are like, you are going to kick field goals and deal with it, and that's like his whole game plan, right? Just keep going, get field goal after field goal. They might give up some yards. You have to kind of like have to ignore the yards, because that's a lot of people do with Seahawks defense. Is like they go look back at how many yards they're giving up. You kind of have to ignore that with this defense and just understand that they're not going to give up a lot of points.
It's a bend but don't break for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the difference. Like, there's going to be some games where you're just getting frustrated because they can't. It feels like they can't stop the other teim. The other team just keeps kicking field goals, and if the Raiders on offense could take advantage and they could score points, that's how they're going to win. It's more about like, zone rally. That's what we're going to be watching. A lot of rallying, rally and tackle. You know what I'm saying, guys? So get used to that. That's all. It'll
be like it's like the quintessential saying of, "We'll trade 7 for 3." That's kind of the mindset I feel like you're touching on.
Yeah. We talked about this, David. We talked about that. Playing center. Let me see any other questions here. So it's safe to say y'all don't agree with the release of Wilkins. Yeah, I mean, no, I don't agree with it.
I think I said the opposite. I understand it. I understand it when you're not coming back, but I'm not happy that they lost a player that's been good for them.
Yeah.
I think we said the exact opposite, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we understand it, but understanding and agreeing, I guess, is like two different things. I guess sometimes too.
Again, if he wasn't going to play this year, like, no question, you get rid of him. I'm not upset with like I said in the intro, I'm not upset with the decision. I'm just upset with the entire situation and being a fan for the last 25 years of watching them have free agent bust after free agent bust and adding another one to the list. More so.
Yeah, it was a message.
Yeah,
guys. I mean, you just have to take the message that we're competing here. This is, and that's why I got so mad at Maddie when he tweeted that. I was like, bro, always compete, because it's in his name, bro. He's compete Pete.
Compete Pete.
That's where we're at, guys.
It's all about competition. It's all about compete. I can't even say it. Competition.
Yeah, right. Competition, right, or something. But that's why JPJ better watch his back. He better. That ain't a joke. Jordan Meredith, like, we're all assuming, No, JPJ, don't. This guy, he's the guy that played Russell Wilson. There's not a lot of people who would have played Russell Wilson year one, no matter how well he played in preseason. Just as much as they paid Matt Flynn. Pete Carroll did that. So you have to remember these things. Like, this is not.
There were old stories too about when he was at at USC. He would make like the current team watch highlight tapes of the incoming freshmen, just to basically be like, "This guy's going to come in here and take your job."
Exactly.
I can imagine showing Reggie Bush some running backs highlight tape and be like, "Yeah, this guy's going to come take your job." Really? I just won the Heisman.
Yeah. That's Pete Carroll. You know what I mean? Like, it's. You have to be on. He will replace you if somebody's out competing. That's why I feel like these preseason games are gonna matter more than before. I feel like with the last couple regimes, they're just out there. But if Sincere McCormick's out there balling and he's just playing better than Raheem Mostert, he's gonna get that job. He's gonna be number 2. If Zamir White or any of these guys or some of these wide receivers, we see Dante Thornton Jr., he's getting a lot of play. I mean, he's playing with the ones basically all the time. And I was just reading, we getting Cameron Richardson's got some reps with the ones.
Yeah, that was the one that was the one I was going to bring up too. Like, someone brought up Ja'Cory Bennett. I thought that's where the question was going to go. Cameron Richardson getting first team reps before Ja'Cory Bennett. It seems like. I wonder. I mean, that's something to at least keep an eye on throughout the preseason is what the rotation is. Because again, Bennett, I feel like, was a guy that most people assumed would be a starting cornerback, and right now it looks like he might be 4th on the depth chart.
Yeah. I know they all need continuity, but watch your back, bro. You know what I'm saying? You have a guy like Joey Lalu taking pictures with you in the offseason. Stay there next to you. The next day, he took your job. Watch your back, bro. Watch your back. Watch your back, JPJ. Don't sleep. Don't have that thought process. Everybody needs a snap with the different quarterbacks. Sure. Sure, bro. All right. How do you feel about Keandre Coburn? I don't know too much about him, Matt. I mean,
yeah. So I liked him a little bit coming out of Texas. He's like a decent run defender, just a short, stocky guy. I don't know what happened. I haven't followed his NFL career that well. I know he got drafted, I think, by the Chiefs in the 6th round. Didn't last there long and ended up with the Titans. Titans have a lot of defensive tackles. I mean, two starters are pretty good, Devondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. And I think they have don't remember their depth chart off the top of my head, but I think they have a couple guys on the back end or in the depth chart that's a defensive tackle that might have squeezed him out. And they signed a former Raider, Jahad Ward, to help out on the edge, which they needed some more help on. So I think that's the silver lining with adding him of like, hey, this guy wasn't necessarily playing bad. He just kind of got squeezed out in Tennessee and they needed help at another spot. But he's going to be fighting for a roster spot. He wasn't like any sort of game changer. He was a solid run defender. Just didn't have a lot of NFL measurables. And again, I don't know how his NFL career has worked out, but him and Moro Ojimo, who ended up being a 7th round pick of the Eagles and might get some playing time this upcoming season, were the two Texas D tackles before like this wave of like dudes like Sweat, Murphy, what was the guy last year? Alfred Collins and drawing a blank, Vernon Broughton, that he was like in that first wave of guys that really started, or where Texas really started turning out pros at defensive tackle. So was a guy that I was intrigued by, but I mean, he was a 6th round pick for a reason. I'm not going to be like gung ho on him going into the year.
Yeah. I don't know too much about him, so I'm not gonna try to speak on something I don't know about. But yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll put it this way: I wouldn't be surprised if they still looked at bringing in like one of these veteran defensive tackles, like a Quentin Jefferson, who's played for Seattle, played for Pete Carroll in Seattle. That's the phrase I was looking for.
Yeah. So let me ask, can we get a TDL and Sandra episode? I mean, he asked me one time, but he just never hit me back. So I'm not gonna worry about that. All right. So how would you rate this offseason compared to the last few? It's a good question before we get out of here. What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, I hate to say it, but they've lost more than they brought in at the end of the day. Again, was it the cost effectiveness? I understand that, but the talent level has dropped off a little bit. Like who's their big free agent signing? Jeremy Chin, solid player, good player. Yeah, nothing great. And I mean, he ends up replacing Trevon Merrick, who was a damn good player last season. So it's just kind of just went a lot quieter, I guess, more than anything. But for me, there's a lot more lost than that what's been gained talent wise. It's just the finances have skewed a little bit.
Yeah, somebody says building through the draft. I mean, yeah, that's their goal, but I think that's their philosophy is just not spend a lot of money on guys like that in free agency and kind of have the young guys get paid. I think that's just the philosophy of Pete Carroll and I think John Spytek's on that same philosophy. So I think it's a mixture of both, right? So they're not going to spend big money in the offseason. But I would say for me kind of to grade this offseason, yeah, you're right. They lost more than they gained. But we're going to see if, what they plan on doing offensively, because I feel like this is what I hope, and I thought they're going to do this year with the draft, but I hope that they're going to be all offense, right? Like they were this past year, and then next year with the draft, they're all defense, and then maybe they'll, get it all together that way. But I just don't. I'm not expecting them to spend a lot of money in free agency like ever again. Like not for a while, right? And not why Pete's here. So I would think the draft was pretty good. So I would say that it was okay offseason. It just was nothing really happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing really happened. I will say I like how Spytek handled the draft. Trading back, getting a lot of picks, and like you said, kind of building the draft. So I can see where that's coming from. I just was approaching it from an immediate perspective, I guess, with my initial comments.
I mean, NBCBX says, who did they lose? That was a big deal. I mean,
Trevon, Spillane, Hobbs.
I mean, they were solid players. I mean, okay.
Do we need to go over who's playing nickel right now? Do you remember that part?
I mean, Nate House is better than any nickel that we have right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know,
Robert Spillane's better than any linebacker they have on the roster right now too. Javon Mary's better than any safety. That's where I'm.
I mean, I know Morag and Spillane got honorable mentions from the ESPN list. So let's just say that if we had those guys, we would be like, oh yay, wow, they got honorable mention guys. You know what I mean? But they weren't trying to pay them. That's basically that's what we learned.
Yeah,
they ain't trying to pay nobody that ain't homegrown. that's what we're learning.
Whoa.
Right? But they're not homegrown for them, right? They're not homegrown for them, so they're paying them. Yeah. What I mean, like I said, NBC, you're arguing with the NFL, bro. The NFL rated those guys top 15 players. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You just sorry, NFL. People think we didn't lose out on anything, but do they really think that? I mean, the NFL ranked Trayvon Morgan as a top 15 safety. Like they were top 15 players at the position. Like you can't. I don't know if they're great players. Are they amazing? Are they Pro Bowlers? No, but they're good players. Like, you know what I mean? They have Lonnie Johnson. Lonnie Johnson might play snaps. He plays 60
he had a pick in practice. Put some respect on Lonnie Johnson's name. He had a pick during training camp.
You know what I mean? Like it is a downgrade on defense, right? But it's upgrades on offense. They got Geno Smith. They got a better quarterback. You know what I'm saying? They got Chip Kelly. There's upgrades on offense, but defense, like they didn't want to pay anybody that's not from their homegrown, and that's going to be the path forward. You're not going to see them pay anybody. There's going to be guys. You know, I'm not going to be shocked if Colt Miller walks. To be honest, it's not going to shock me. It's not going to shock me if Dylan Parham walks too, because those guys really aren't like homegrown for them, and that's gonna be the philosophy. Is these homegrown guys are gonna get paid. I mean, I know Max Crosby, but Max Crosby's totally different. Yeah, it's Max Crosby, but like it's these type of guys, right? I'm not expecting them to kind of just like attach to them. Yeah,
if you're good, not great, they're not gonna bring you. They're not gonna bring you back unless you're their guy.
I can just draft somebody. That's great. You know what I mean? Like I could just go get me Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah.
MBZ, he's overrated by the NFL then too, because he was literally on the top of the ESPN list, man, with the executives.
That's
he's overrated. He's overrated by the NFL then too. Like you know what I'm saying about the fan base. He's overrated by the whole NFL. Anyways, all right. So I think it's enough, Matt. We've had enough for today. Enough talks about these guys here. It's over. Christian Wilkins is gone. We got to get the training camp here. We got preseason coming up pretty soon here, and we actually have some film. I'm excited about that. I just want some damn film. I don't care what it looks like. If there's gonna be blown coverages, and I'm gonna be watching Cam Miller trying to throw in some basic cover 3. It's gonna be awesome though. It's gonna feel great. It's gonna feel terrific. It's gonna feel terrific.
Yeah, for sure. I've been starving for some new tape to break down for sure. Be a good one.
All right, guys, we're out of here. I appreciate it. You have we have almost 500 in here on a Saturday morning, so I appreciate you guys coming to join us. It is football season. You get more of these lives. Of course, you get the instant reaction after preseason games, all that stuff. We're gonna be doing all that. So we'll be back though. Probably Tuesday. We'll probably do some live and just talk about what's happening in training camp. Get ready for that. See what's happening. The pads are on. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we're out of here, guys. See ya. Peace.